was going on today?
I never seen it. Did you pay respects and sing up during it?
Oh, no, I made sure that I was at my bed for 11 o'clock this morning. Aye, as fucking if. I'll be fucking right, mate. I'm loaded with the flu. I've got more fucking chances lying sleeping than standing there in the frozen cold with some hypocrites.
So you're coming on here?
Last year and
you're coming on here to give us a call then? Is that what you're saying, Sean? You've come on here to...
No, I'm coming on here to slag the cenotaph. That's what I'm doing. The cenotaph, whatever it's called.
Slag it off.
Heard some stupid bird on the wireless tonight greeting, oh, we should honour these deed. Why?
Exactly why?
What did they ever do for us?
Fucking nothing, mate. Say there, we've got a good brother on here. Somebody's just calling in. Who's this adding in? Who's that? Caller, what's your name? What's your point?
Tommy, good morning. It's Richard here.
Stay there and I'll phone you back, Richard, right?
Yeah, no worries.
Right. Because we don't like charging people money, don't we, no, Sean? We'll get Richard. Richard, Sean. Wait a minute, stay there. Stay there, Sean. Right. Hopefully.
Don't worry, mate. I'm not going anywhere.
Tommy, good morning.
Good morning, Richard. Sean's on here. He's just talking about the cenotaph. It pissed him off. What are you saying about the Remembrance Sunday, Remembrance Monday? A lot of pish, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Well, listen, I run one of the biggest projects in London, and I had a remembrance for all the good Kims that fucking died. But my point, following on from what I tweeted you about the two lads over in Amsterdam.
Indeed.
Shocking.
Were you at the game, caller? Did you go?
Absolutely. No, I didn't, Tommy, but I've heard enough from guys that were there, and I think it's absolutely shocking what happened to them, considering our name as a support base. I think the way the club have dealt with it has been a disgrace. And
do you think the club should do more?
I think if John Reid was still there at Celtic, I think he'd be fighting our cause a lot stronger. He was a bastard, but he was a thieving bastard. And
excuse me, can I just butt in here?
Crack on.
Yeah, go ahead, Tommy.
No, that was Sean. Sean, on you go.
John Reid was a wee fucking murdering bastard.
Yeah.
It was part of the fucking government money that sent the soldiers to Afghanistan.
Yep.
He's another wee murderer.
Yeah.
He's another wee murderer.
Yeah. Well, correct. And what I would say to you is this, that he would have been part of a whole machine, as in a government. But in his own right, as chairman of Celtic, he stood up for us.
I don't understand what you mean by stood up for us.
He stood up for Celtic. Huh?
He did.
He's just a wee man. It's just a wee murderer. That's all he is. Just another wee Tony Blair, another wee murderer. A fucking puppet for the Americans.
I wouldn't disagree with that, but what I would say is in his time when...
You couldn't disagree with that, though. Because it's not disagreeable with... The guy's just another wee fucking Hitler.
Well, listen, Richard, right?
My point being is this. Listen.
Right, but hold on, Richard, right? Hold on, before you make your point.
Celtic.
Hold on. Richard, hold on, right? Before you make your point, can you just say, right, what did he exactly do in your mind? Because in my mind, I can only think of really one speech where he hit the nail on the head.
The same one.
And after that, And that was at the EGM, I do recall. I think it would have been, I don't know what year it was. If anyone's got the transcript, the notes or anything from it, then God willing, pass it on. But apart from that, unless he did a lot of stuff in the background regards the EBTs and the exposure of that, and maybe even help facilitate the City of London police to come in the door and do a full investigation. Maybe it was him who helped the taxman. Maybe it was him who was the unseen feeding hand directing Hector to the millions stolen. So possibly, but I don't know, unless you know anything about that, my man, unless you can verify. But I'm just looking at one speech. I don't know. Hit me with whatever you've got, Richard. Because just now, just now, I'm in Sean's camp. I'm in Sean's camp now. I'm in Sean's camp, just to be clear. I'm with Sean. He's a murdering little bastard. And whatever he did with Celtic, well, prove what good he did, really.
Well, what I would say is this, right? That's what makes our support base so great. Indeed. And that's one of the white things. We can have a variety of opinions. Yeah.
Still talk about it and be friends. And still talk about it and be friends afterwards.
No, yeah, no. But what I would say is this, right? Whatever he did politically, I would agree with Sean. Yeah. He was part of a machine, right? And that kind of goes against the grain being, well, I'm very left-wing, so on and so forth. But what I would say is, when he was the chairman of Celtic, he came out with one statement, and for such a public person, he turned round and said, "We will not sit at the back of the bus." Now, that said a lot to me about that one particular statement, because it verified what I fucking believe in. Yeah? I will not sit at the back of the bus and be pushed around by these... How would Paul Larkin put it? By the Edinburgh establishment, or even greater than that. Yeah? Greater being the wrong word, actually.
Stay there, I'll phone you back. Stay there, I'll phone you both back. Right, I heard a bit of crackling. We don't want the line to degenerate. Stay there, crackpotos. Right, we'll do one at a time, I think. Hold on, stay there.
Tommy, how you doing?
Yep. I had a terrible time the other night with a little crackling stuff, so we'll get the other good brother back on in a second. He's coming back on, I do believe. Right, so crack on you go.
Yeah, no, my real main point was about the two young lads over in Amsterdam.
Uh-huh.
It has not been possible to connect your call.
I'm disappointed. I don't think Celtic have done enough here.
I know.
And I think, again, it's going to be down to the fans to do something about this. And really, my biggest... Hello?
It's okay, just bringing Sean back in. On you go.
Hi, mate, how you doing?
Yep. Richard's just making a point here. He's just making a point. On you go, Richard, on you go. Crack on.
Yeah, I just think... I think Celtic should be very vocal in supporting our fans. I think, and this is what I was saying about John Reid, that I think he probably would have been more vocal. Martin O'Neill certainly would have been. Yeah. So I've got 2 points to make here, really. I feel very disappointed in the way the club have not went in there and got these two young boys back. I don't think they've backed up the 10,000 fans that went over there and basically got attacked, and it was precipitated by the actions of the Ajax fans in Glasgow. We could well see what we're all going into. Yeah? I do not think the club have acted as a business as opposed to a heritage or an institution. And I would say, I don't think John Reid would have allowed that.
What do you think to that, Sean?
I think Dr. John Reid would have pulled out the stops here. I don't think he would allow the Green Brigade to be getting all the crap that they're getting from the cops.
Oh, away you go. But listen, Sean, hold on. On you go, hold on. Sean, what do you think of that? Do you still think he's a war criminal bastard?
Tommy, what was that guy's name?
Richard, it's on here.
Richard, without being disrespectful to you or anything, I don't think that John Reid would have helped the Celtic supporters in any way, shape or form. If the truth be told, mate, from my mouth, we should get these guys named and try and get bail money arranged for them, even if it's only a London town, for everybody on Twitter. We've done it for the Mary Hall Food Bank, and I think we should do it for these guys as well, because these guys were there supporting our club.
And already there's...
John, I'm sorry for maybe talking over you. I totally agree with you. Maybe my point about John Reid, I'll relate to when he turned around and said, I couldn't give a fuck about him, to be honest. But the fact he came out and said, we won't sit at the back of the bus, right? That one speech, I'm not a fan of his. But what I'm looking for is somebody to lead our club and actually stand up, not for the business people, not for these, people that come and go. I'm talking about you, me.
Hold on, you say leader
kids.
club. You say leader club, but you could not find a more divisive character in the history of Celtic Football Club to come in.
No, Tommy, could I just put in me, if you don't mind?
Go.
John Reid is a war criminal, and he should never have been anywhere near our football club.
And Touchy Boy 67 said he introduced mandatory poppies. We was there when the poppies were on the jersey, and pounded the GB when they protested. So what would you say about that, Richard? Do you reckon
Well, listen, look, I'm not out here to support John Reid. All I'm saying is, the moment he came out and said we will not sit at the back of the bus, whether he was warmongering, whether or not he was trying to find favouritism. But Tommy, hold on. Let me finish my point.
No, but I hear what you're saying.
Will you let me finish my point?
But hold on, answer this then. I'll let you back in.
I will, but if you let me finish my point.
All right.
What I'm going to say is, what I'm looking for from my club, your club, our institution, is a fucking leader that will speak and stand up for the fans and not the route that the club is going down.
I hear you, right? But, right, that one man, right, for being part of a government that invaded...
Okay, that was a bad point. My only point was, right, that he said, we will not stand at the back of the bus.
I know that. And listen, I hear you. And I know what your point is, and I agree with you. We need someone, but we could never, ever, in the Celtic support, could never, ever get beside someone who could, at one point in his life, according to George Galloway, and I questioned him on his live radio show about it, and who used to sing rebel tunes and even taught George Galloway the songbook of certain tunes, right? So how he could turn and sit in government. Not only that, a government that invaded another sovereign state on behalf of the British military junta, the same British military junta that invaded Ireland. So when you jump the dike, to phrase it like that, right? When you do something, and that's just a terrible way of phrase it, because to actually go and kill or be part of a government killed 1 million people in Iraq and countless thousands in Afghanistan, then there is no way, shape or form, even if he was to lead Celtic to win the European Cup, I would still begrudge the fact that there was a feckin' war criminal at the helm. I've got principles and I've got certain attitudes. I'm not going to Celtic Park for certain reasons. So, and for the fact that if he was to be there in any shape or form, regardless, I'm with Sean, he's a war criminal, but I do hear what you're saying, Richard, and I'll let you both back in. I do hear what you're saying. We need someone who's going to stand up for the fans, but maybe right temperament, right attitude, but just the wrong guy. Maybe we should have got him 10, 15 years ago.
Tommy, my